This week's show brought to you by SCAD, Scott Countyans Against Drugs. Chenault and Hogue for all your insurance needs.
Welcome everybody to the Scott County Cardinals News Graphic Boys Basketball Coaches Show. Right now when we say Scott County Boys Basketball, everyone else is kind of cringing in fear, I think. If you look at the scores, if you look at, especially if you watch, scores are one thing, because in the running clock era, things are just different. You can't really compare one year to another. But if you watch the film of the game, you watch what this team is doing defensively, you watch what this team is doing on the fast break, you watch what it's doing in terms of building its depth, it is hard to imagine anyone in the state of Kentucky contending with them over the long haul of a 32-minute game. 9-0 to this point are the Cards. They're looking to go 10-0 Friday night against Fern Creek. That'll be the News Graphic Game of the Week, our live stream. Please check that out with yours truly and Lanny Brannick, and a cast of many that make it happen, including James Scott and our producer, director, call him what you will here, jack of all trades. It's going to be a good night. I think that Fern Creek game will be a good test, although we've said that about some other tests. Oldham County, who they played this past Monday night, was a Final Four team last year, and they just got decimated by SC. 91-34 was the final. It was a tough homecoming for Koiser Husen, former player for Billy Hicks, who graduated in 2002. He's had that program running really well here the past few years on a kind of a steady climb, but this might be a building year. Their JV team looked really sharp in a close loss to SC, but varsity just could not keep up with this group of seniors as it came from everybody. 5 players in double figures. The lead jumped out early. It was running clock, I believe, on the first possession of the second half, and the starters still scored 23 points even with the clock running in that period. So they got plenty of help from the bench as well that night. And then they moved on to Tuesday night, where Lafayette, right? Lafayette's got to be a game. Even though Scott County had won 9 in a row in that series coming in, they've all been close, kind of dogfight type things. 2-point, 3-point wins for the Cards. 2-point, 3-point win wasn't in the cards on this night, as it was 106-51. That makes it sound closer than it was. I think in the third quarter, second half, once the running clock started, there was more basket swapping, a little less intensity on defense, as you don't want to rub it in too much. But the Cards just kept it up offensively and dominated that game against a Lafayette team that's a little younger, but they blew out Madison Central. Now, people are talking about Madison Central as one of the teams in the 11th region that maybe could hang with Scott County. Well, they lost by 20 to Lafayette. Scott County just pounded on Lafayette Tuesday night to set up the game against Fern Creek on Friday. What comes beyond that? The Beach Ball Classic, and we'll talk about that in a special edition next week. But this is a year where the Cards may have a chance. They finished 4th in that thing in the past, I believe. Last year they finished 5th and won the consolation bracket. If you look at the rankings nationally of the 16 teams, Scott County might be the favorite this year. I mean, it's hard to tell. Okay, those ratings are just words on a page. Whether or not they mean anything, this is a good time to find out, really, as they'll be going up against the best competition they've faced so far. But certainly on paper, there's a chance for SC to make a run in that tournament. Of course, they've been to it the past 2 years, so this group, by and large, is intact. You know, they lost Cooper Robb, but other than that, not a lot has changed from sophomore year to junior year to senior year. And now this team is just a cohesive unit. There's no selfishness. You see the passing game coming up. You see guys passing up a really good shot to get a great automatic shot. This team is shooting about 55% from the floor on the season. And it's coming from Michael Marino, 17, 18 points a game. Diablo Stewart right around the same number. Lorenzo Williams is off to a great start. Glenn Covington in 4 games since coming over from the football team looks like he's in mid-season form. He'll tell you he's not. He'll tell you it takes a while to get the cardio for basketball up to that level. But he's done a great job and looks all business as he comes into his senior year. Cam Fluker has played out of his mind, and Bryce Long, starter since freshman season, but I think the best stretch of games that he's played in my time here, certainly this past week or two. So all systems are go for that trip to South Carolina. We don't want to get into it too much, as that'll be coming next week. Fern Creek, Louisville team that's lost 3 games in overtime, so they're for real. They're a little younger than they were last year, but we'll see how that Friday night game goes for the Cards. We'll have a chance to go 10-0 as Billy Hicks, he's now at 987 career wins going into that one. So things are getting very real as we get into that second portion of the season. We're at the 1/3 mark, believe it or not, after Friday night. 10 games out of a 30-game regular season schedule. We talked to Coach Hicks about all those things. He's always excited to take a team to the beach ball. He's well respected nationally down there. Just from the coaches that come to that thing, from the people that manage the tournament, they get an open invitation to the Cardinals every year. And the last 3 years, he's taken them up on it, as he's had a team that's capable of making some noise. Probably none noisier than this one. Let's see what Coach Hicks had to say about the Cardinals' prospects, what's happened the past week or so, and what their chances are going forward into the Christmas season.
Coach Hicks can't recall this much December success during his distinguished career.
In 40 years of coaching, this is the darndest thing I've seen. I guess if you coach long enough, you see it all. I've never been on a run like this. And then, we were just playing a good team. We haven't played a bad team yet. The teams we're playing are a good team. We're beating good teams convincingly, and that's just a testament how hard we're playing. And to score and get up and down and do things, you've got to really, it all begins on the defensive end. If you can't force teams to play with you, then you've got to be able to, then they can hold the ball on you and slow you down. But teams haven't been able to do that yet. And also it's a testament to our ability to pass the ball, because when people try to press us, well, we just throw it right over top of them or go right through them. And again, when you got a guy like Michael in the middle that can get him the ball, he's great at distributing it to other people, and he's a heck of a passer. We've got a lot of good passers on this team. I think Glenn Covington shows signs of being a excellent passer. Who knows how good he can be on down the road here, because he's never had a chance to really work at basketball. And gosh, I just see some things in him that I don't see in any other guard in the state.
Glenn Covington's focus since joining the team 2 weeks ago has given the Cards a big lift.
It's really amazing to think of the talent he has, how good he could be. Cal, he's not just a quick kid or not just an athletic kid. He's a good basketball player. He knows how to play the game. And this comes as no surprise to people, because out of the 8th grade, Glenn was the whiz kid. But then I think he just never had a chance to work at basketball. He played track, he played football. He lifted weights every day, and it's not good for your shot and everything. So it really was tough on him. Now that he has a chance to really work at basketball, I think he's gonna find it. He's gonna be a pretty good one.
The Cardinals' unselfishness and shot selection have been top-notch.
I thought the last couple of years we needed to get better in the read passing department, where we make reads and make the right decision. And from August on, we've really worked on that. I put them in situations in practice, so they had to make reads. They had to. And then we continually have worked on the quick reverse. Really putting the zip on the ball, not throwing lazy passes. And we're still throwing some cross-court bounce passes. I cringe every time I see that, because cross-court bounce passes get dunked on the other end when you're playing quick teams, because it slows that ball down. I know last night Lafayette stole a bounce pass. We bounced it, and I think Drew just ran it down and picked it up. So we still got a lot of room for improvement, but we have improved also in that area. Our passing is so much better, and I think that's what makes us tough in man-to-man. We all can make passes. We all can read. In a zone, we're breaking the zone. We've got some zone offenses that we do with sets, but perhaps our best one is just gap, where they hit the gaps and move it, because we're really good passers and really good shooters.
Michael Marino's determination and all-around game have been a centerpiece, as expected, for Scott County.
It starts with leadership, and Michael's been a really great leader for us. But I think Michael's sort of a man on a mission this year. I think, he doesn't horse around as much in practice as he used to, and in a game, he really brings it in the game too. You notice every loose ball, he gets a hand on it, probably tips it in. If he misses a shot, he gets it, puts it in. That second and third effort is there, and to do that night in and night out, it comes from within. You got to get psyched up and really deep in you to want to win, to do that. And Diablo could come out and take probably 20 shots and average 40 a game. Here, Michael, either one could. If they're on a team where they got 20 shots a game, they could average 40 points easy. But, these guys want to win. They want to be win. I think they're smart enough to see the value, Cal, of being on a good team. That, when it's all said and done, they're not going to be remembered for how many points they scored or how many rebounds they got. So they're going to remember how many games they won.
Fern Creek is young and hungry and could be dangerous Friday night.
He's rounded up. He did it about 3 or 4 years ago. He rounded up the best young kids in Louisville in that West End part of town and put them together at Fern Creek, and the result was 2 or 3 straight regional championships. And lo and behold, man, I've never seen so many good-looking sophomores and freshmen. And they got the size, they got the guards, they got the wings. At some point in time, they're going to be hard to deal with. I hope it's not Friday night, and I hope it's not this year. But the coach has put together an amazing group of young players. They can't be many more better than that running around Louisville. He's got to have some of the best kids in Louisville all together at Fern Creek.
All right, that was Coach Hicks, and he said this team is playing at a level that he hasn't seen at this point in the season, and that's a guy that's won 2 state championships. So you got to really take that into consideration and say, wow, there's some special potential for this group. Talked to a couple of the players. Diablo Stewart, the guy is automatic on this team from 3-point range because you can't cover him, because you got to cover someone else. There's no double teaming the guy, and he is hitting shots at 50% and beyond from that point on the court. And Cam Fluker, what can you say about the guy? He's a double-digit scorer some nights. He gets 7 assists some nights. He grabs tough rebounds that you wouldn't think a guy 5'8" or whatever he is would grab. He's been doing it all for the Cards. Let's see what Diablo and Cam had to say.
Diablo Stewart and Cam Fluker say the Cards are unwilling to settle for just being very good.
Just working hard and here every day, trying to get perfection.
But I think the difference is we're all playing hard. I think we all got trust in each other, and we're all just shooting real well and playing great defense together.
Swarming defense has resulted in countless easy baskets.
Communication plays a big part in it. It's just guarding your yard and making sure your man's contained and then be able to stunt and recover and get back.
When it comes to high percentage shots, we try to get everybody the ball, like hit the open man, don't be selfish. And on defense, coach makes sure we try to guard our yard, and if you do get beat, help is on the way.
The Cards have been overwhelming every opponent by the end of the first half.
Trust. We trust each other and believe each other's going to be there to help if we need it.
We try to go out there and play hard as we can, and running clock happens. We don't like it because it shortens up our minutes on playing because we love playing with the team. But we come out and we support the next team going in, winning for us.
Scott County seniors accept their individual roles and are motivated as a team by last year's loss in the state final.
Yeah, everybody takes their role seriously and do what they can do to help.
I'd say it's experience, and also we're motivated because what happened last year, we didn't win, so we want to come out making a statement this year. We want to win, and I believe that we will.
Fern Creek has lost 3 overtime games and will be better than its record indicates.
We hope so. They are a challenge because we haven't had one in a while, but that's what we're praying on.
I expect a challenge, but we're going to go out there and play hard and take care of business as usual.
The players admit to having one eye on next weekend's Beach Ball Classic.
I'm not a big guy on individual trophies. I like to win as a team, so I hope we go down there and win.
Yeah, Coach said they haven't won it here yet, and that's something he wants to do, and we want that too, so that's what we're looking for this year.